Did you know that some of the most transformative decisions can begin in the time it takes to take a deep breath? It's true. Just a brief moment of pause can dramatically shift the course of your life for better or worse. Today, we're exploring the world of Stoicism, a philosophy that has empowered leaders, thinkers, and individuals for centuries to seize that crucial moment between stimulus and response. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca were not only philosophers, but also practitioners of a meaningful life, where every decision is an opportunity to lead a more purposeful existence. Join me as we uncover the power of thoughtful action and discover how a few simple Stoic strategies can transform your daily decisions and ultimately your life. Whether you're contemplating a career move, managing relationships, or deciding where to invest your energy, the wisdom of Stoicism can guide you toward clearer and more deliberate paths. Let's delve into how making space between stimulus and response can become your most powerful tool for change. If you find value in what we're sharing, the simplest favor you can do is hit that subscribe button and stay with us through the entire video. Every moment is filled with insights that could unlock a wiser, more deliberate version of yourself. Let's begin by understanding the essence of creating a tiny gap between what happens to you and how you respond. This moment of pause is where true wisdom can thrive. It's not about stepping back from life's challenges, but about taking control and choosing to respond with intention rather than reacting automatically. Why is this pause so powerful? Think about the last time you reacted too quickly, perhaps snapping at a friend or making a hasty decision you later regretted. In those moments, if we had taken a moment to breathe and truly consider our next move, things might have turned out differently. This is what the Stoics recognized. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often wrote about the space between stimulus and response. He believed that this space is where we hold our power, allowing us to align our actions with our values and ensure that we're not merely reacting to immediate impulses, but acting in a way that is true to ourselves. Implementing the power of pause can start with something I call the 5-second rule. Before reacting to anything, whether it's an annoying email, a stressful request from your boss, or even the urge to skip your morning workout, count down from 5. During those 5 seconds, take a deep breath and remind yourself of who you are and what you stand for. These few seconds help you shift from a knee-jerk reaction to a thoughtful response. For decisions that aren't time-sensitive, there's the 24-hour rule. This is especially useful for significant life-impacting choices. Give yourself a full day to mull things over, allowing time to sleep on it. Discuss it with a trusted friend or mentor, or simply let your subconscious process it throughout the day. Often, this pause helps dissolve the fog of urgency and emotion, revealing a clearer, more reasoned path forward. Why do we emphasize this in Stoicism? Because Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's challenges, it's about thriving despite them. It teaches us that while we can't control what happens to us, we can absolutely control how we respond. A response crafted in the calm of a thoughtful pause can be a profound exercise of freedom and personal integrity. By mastering the power of pause, you're not just reacting to life. You're actively participating in it, shaping your own story with every choice you make. This involves seeing the world through different lenses, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Sometimes all it takes to solve a problem or ease a burden is a fresh perspective. One core principle of Stoicism is that our judgments and reactions shape our reality more than the external events themselves. A favorite technique of mine is called the view from above. This involves imagining yourself zooming out of your current situation, seeing everything from a higher, broader perspective. From this vantage point, things that feel overwhelming up close start to shrink in significance. This mental shift isn't just about gaining a new viewpoint, it's about understanding the relative importance of our issues. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, often discussed the importance of contextualizing our struggles, believing that viewing problems from a distant perspective helps us prioritize what truly matters and dismiss what does not. Another technique is role reversal, where you step into someone else's shoes. Imagine how a person you admire, a mentor, a historical figure, or even a character from a book would handle your situation. Alternatively, consider what advice you would give a friend in your predicament. This shift in perspective can reveal solutions and approaches you hadn't considered when trapped in your own thoughts. It's not just about finding answers, but expanding your emotional understanding. The Stoics valued wisdom from within and without, recognizing that empathy and understanding are keys to personal growth and living a virtuous life. Techniques like the view from above and role reversal help us challenge our immediate perceptions and think beyond our usual patterns, fostering a more compassionate and understanding existence. Managing our emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means understanding and navigating them wisely, ensuring they don't take control of our decisions. This is essential in Stoicism, which teaches that achieving a state of apathy, freedom from destructive emotions, is key to a rational and fulfilling life. One practical method is naming the emotion. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by an emotion, whether it's anger, anxiety, or sadness, pause and name it. Say it out loud or in your mind, "I'm feeling angry," or "I'm experiencing anxiety." This simple act of labeling helps distance you from the emotion itself. As Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, emphasized, it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of these events. By naming the emotion, we start to disentangle ourselves from the feeling and see it for what it really is. Just a temporary state that doesn't have to dictate our actions. Another powerful technique is the Stoic pause, which involves taking a literal pause before reacting to emotional triggers. When something upsets you, instead of reacting immediately, take a deep breath, let it fill you slowly, count to 3, and then exhale. This pause gives your rational mind time to catch up to your emotional response. It's a moment to remind yourself of Marcus Aurelius's advice. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This pause isn't about avoiding emotion, but about choosing how to respond in a way that aligns with your values and goals. These methods are more than just techniques. They are exercises in gaining freedom from unchecked emotions. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern ourselves and our responses regardless of external circumstances. Managing emotions is not just about feeling better, it's about being better, cultivating resilience that allows you to face life's ups and downs with equanimity and grace. Whether you're dealing with a stressful day at work, navigating complex relationships, or facing personal setbacks, managing your emotions is possible and necessary for living a life of reason and virtue. Practice naming your emotions to understand them better and use the Stoic pause to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. By mastering your emotions, you're not just surviving, you're thriving, empowered by the very principles that have guided great minds through the ages. Another cornerstone technique in rational analysis is the pros and cons list. It might sound basic, but don't underestimate its power. When faced with a decision, simply draw 2 columns, one for the potential benefits and the other for the possible drawbacks. This visual representation allows you to weigh the advantages against the disadvantages in a clear, structured manner. It echoes the Stoic emphasis on objective assessment, seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. Listing the pros and cons encourages you to step back from your initial impulses and examine the decision from a place of balance and neutrality. Another useful tool is considering the worst-case scenario. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? This question isn't meant to be pessimistic, but rather to foster preparedness and perspective. By understanding the worst outcome, you can assess whether you're capable of handling it and how likely it is to occur. This technique reduces the fear and anxiety that often cloud our decision-making process. It's a form of mental rehearsal, a strategy used by Stoics, like Seneca, who suggested periodically practicing the hardships we fear. By doing so, we demystify them and reduce their emotional impact. Rational analysis, in the Stoic sense, is about more than just making good decisions. It's about aligning those decisions with a deeper understanding of our values, goals, and the realities of our situation. It encourages us to think more clearly and live more wisely, preparing us to face both expected and unexpected outcomes with equanimity and resilience. When you're faced with a decision, take the time to analyze it rationally. Use these Stoic tools, the pros and cons list and worst-case scenario analysis, to embrace the full spectrum of possibilities, prepare for various outcomes, and ensure your choices are thoughtful, considered, and in harmony with your pursuit of a virtuous life. Stoicism teaches that having a strong set of values isn't just about maintaining a moral high ground. It's about creating a foundation upon which every thought, decision, and action can build. This foundation gives our lives direction and consistency. One key technique to ensure your decisions align with your values is the integrity check. Whenever you face a decision, big or small, ask yourself, does this align with my core values? Is this choice going to enhance my character or diminish it? By questioning how your actions reflect your values, you practice what the Stoics consider the essence of wisdom, living according to nature, which includes your own true nature. Reflecting on whether your actions help or hinder your ability to live up to your principles isn't just about avoiding regret. It's about actively shaping a life you can be proud of. Another powerful method is the "would I respect myself" test. This involves looking at your decision through the lens of public scrutiny. Would you feel comfortable and proud if your decision were known to others? It's a thought experiment that brings clarity and honesty into your decision-making process. If the thought of everyone knowing your choice makes you uncomfortable, it might be worth reconsidering. It's a straightforward way to ensure that your actions not only align with your values, but are also actions you'd openly stand by. Your principles serve as your compass in the stormy seas of life, guiding you when the path isn't clear and choices seem overwhelming. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, often discussed how our principles are tested most when things are hard, not when they are easy. This is why embedding your values deeply into your decision-making process is so crucial. It ensures that when tested, you can rely on these internal structures to guide you through. As you navigate life's choices, from the mundane to the monumental, keep these techniques in mind. Perform an integrity check and apply the "would I respect myself" test. These practices aren't just exercises. They hone your character and strengthen your life's philosophy. They ensure that every choice you make isn't just a decision, but a reflection of your deepest self. By doing so, you live not only with intention, but with integrity, crafting a life that's not only successful by external standards, but profoundly fulfilling by your own. Stoicism also emphasizes the wisdom in learning from others. No person is an island, and sometimes an outside perspective can unlock insights you might have missed or misunderstood. One technique I hold dear is consulting a mentor. Whether it's a trusted advisor, a respected friend, or a professional mentor, these individuals bring a wealth of experience and knowledge. They can offer advice that is both insightful and objective, given their emotional distance from your dilemmas. Consulting someone who has navigated similar challenges or who possesses expertise in areas you're unfamiliar with is not just helpful, it's a strategic move. Marcus Aurelius himself, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, had teachers and advisors he turned to for guidance. He understood that wisdom doesn't come from solitary contemplation alone, but also from shared human experience. Another practical approach is what I call the two heads are better than one technique. This involves discussing your thoughts and plans with a small group of trusted individuals. Each person's unique perspective can shed light on different aspects of your situation, revealing possibilities and pitfalls you might not have considered when working alone. This collective brainstorming isn't about reaching a consensus, but about enriching your understanding and broadening your view. Before making a decision, it reinforces the Stoic belief in community and mutual support as essential components of a well-lived life. The Stoics valued dialogue not just as a way to transmit knowledge, but as a tool for refining thoughts and building resilience. Engaging with others challenges your assumptions and biases, which is crucial for personal growth and wise decision-making. It reflects the Stoic practice of dialectic, where through reasoned debate and discussion, one seeks to arrive at greater truths. So, when you're at a crossroads, don't hesitate to seek counsel. Reach out to mentors who inspire you and engage in meaningful discussions with peers who challenge and support you. By doing so, you leverage collective wisdom and honor the Stoic tradition of valuing knowledge and experience beyond your own. Each interaction is not just a moment of learning, but an opportunity to build deeper connections and reinforce your path toward making thoughtful, informed decisions. This chapter is all about learning from experience, a concept central to both living wisely and practicing Stoicism. The Stoics emphasize self-examination and growth from personal history, encouraging a mindful review of one's actions and their outcomes. One insightful technique is post-mortem analysis. It might sound a bit grim, but it's actually a powerful tool for growth. After a decision has played out, whether it led to success or fell short, take time to reflect on it. Ask yourself what went well, what didn't, and most importantly, what you could learn from it. This method is about objectively dissecting your decisions to understand the mechanics of your choices. It's not about dwelling on the past or beating yourself up over mistakes, but about extracting valuable lessons to inform your future decisions. This reflective practice is deeply Stoic. Consider how Marcus Aurelius wrote his Meditations, a series of reflections he used to develop his philosophy and personal conduct. He wasn't just recording events, he was analyzing them, learning from them, and planning how to improve. Similarly, by conducting your own post-mortem analysis, you engage in a process that's not just about critique, but about continuous improvement. Another valuable approach is future self-reflection. This involves looking at your decisions from the perspective of your future self. Imagine yourself a few years from now looking back at the choice you're about to make. What would your future self think? Would they approve of the decision? This thought experiment helps align your decisions with your long-term goals and the person you aspire to be. It's a form of temporal perspective shifting that not only enriches decision-making, but also deepens your understanding of who you are and who you want to become. Reflecting on past decisions is crucial because it turns experience into wisdom. Every choice you make and every result you experience becomes part of your educational journey. The Stoics believed in the power of reason to overcome emotional disturbances and improve judgment. By regularly engaging in reflective practices like post-mortem analysis and future self-reflection, you embody this Stoic principle. You not only make peace with past choices, but also set the stage for more thoughtful, aligned, and effective decisions in the future. It's about building a narrative of personal growth, one decision at a time, always moving toward a more virtuous, wise, and fulfilled self. As Stoics, our goal is to make decisions based on reason and virtue, not on skewed perceptions or irrational impulses. However, biases are a natural part of human cognition, and even the most disciplined among us can fall prey to them without realizing it. One critical bias to be vigilant against is confirmation bias, the tendency to favor information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses, regardless of whether the information is true. To combat this, actively seek out and consider information that challenges your views. This doesn't mean simply listening to opposing opinions, but genuinely trying to understand them. By doing so, you expand your perspective and reduce the likelihood of making decisions based solely on your biases. This aligns closely with the Stoic practice of challenging one's impressions and ensuring they are based on reality rather than assumption. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, urged his followers to scrutinize their impressions and ensure they are justified before acting on them. Another technique to help avoid biases is the pre-mortem technique. Unlike a post-mortem, which you do after an event, a pre-mortem involves imagining that a decision has already failed and then working backward to determine what could lead to that failure. This approach helps you foresee potential problems and plan mitigation strategies, significantly improving your decision-making process. It's a proactive way of thinking that forces you to look at your decisions from different angles and anticipate challenges before they arise. It embodies the Stoic principle of foresight and preparation, being ready for potential difficulties and having a plan to address them. Both avoiding confirmation bias and practicing the pre-mortem technique cultivate a balanced, informed view that transcends automatic, often unexamined mental habits. The Stoics believed in the power of the rational mind to lead us to a good life, but they also recognized that the mind needs training and discipline to function optimally. By actively working to recognize and reduce biases in our thinking, we not only make better decisions, but also foster a more genuine understanding of the world around us. In your daily life, when faced with a decision, take a moment to ask yourself, am I considering all perspectives? Am I preparing for different outcomes? By integrating these practices into your decision-making process, you honor the Stoic commitment to living a life guided not by convenience or superficiality, but by depth, reason, and virtue. Each choice you make contributes not just to your immediate goals, but to the broader aim of cultivating wisdom and ethical integrity. One effective way to deal with uncertainty is by engaging in what I call the what-if game. This involves exploring various potential outcomes of a situation. By asking a series of what-if questions, what if things go right? What if they go wrong? What can I do in each scenario? This isn't about worrying over what might happen. Instead, it's about preparing mentally for various possibilities. By doing so, you reduce the fear and anxiety that often come with uncertainty, and equip yourself to handle whatever comes your way with composure and effectiveness. This exercise is deeply Stoic, echoing the teachings of Epictetus, who believed that by contemplating different outcomes, we can diminish the impact of negative events when they occur. Another powerful method is the best, worst, most likely analysis. When faced with a decision, consider the best possible outcome, the worst possible outcome, and the most likely outcome. This helps you gauge the range of possible results and grounds your expectations in reality. It's a balanced approach that prepares you to handle the worst while hoping for the best. Stoicism doesn't teach us to expect life to go one way or another, but encourages us to remain equanimous regardless of the circumstances. Both the what-if game and the best, worst, most likely analysis help cultivate what Stoics regard as an essential virtue, equanimity. Equanimity means maintaining a calm state regardless of what life throws at you, keeping an even keel through the ups and downs, not being overly elated by success nor overly deflated by failure. By practicing these techniques, you learn to view uncertainty not as a threat, but as an integral part of the human experience that offers valuable lessons and opportunities for growth. This approach doesn't just alleviate stress, it enhances your ability to navigate life's complexities with grace and wisdom. Embracing uncertainty in this way aligns perfectly with Stoic teachings, transforming what many see as life's greatest challenges into its most enriching experiences. So, next time you face the unknown, instead of recoiling with apprehension, lean into it with the strategies we've discussed. Equip yourself with the Stoic mindset to turn uncertainty from a path of fear into a path of empowerment. Thank you for joining me today in exploring these timeless Stoic strategies for embracing life's complexities. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity to apply these principles and grow stronger and wiser. If you enjoyed this journey into the depths of Stoic wisdom, check out the suggested video on your screen to continue your path to mastering the art of living well. Thank you for being a part of the Stoic Journal community. Stay thoughtful, and until next time, keep striving toward a life of virtue and clarity.